Hello everybody, it's your boy, The Chaotic Wave, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're taking a look at Guts vs Inuyasha. First, let's take a look at Guts. Guts the Black Swordsman, a former mercenary and a branded wanderer who travels the world in a constant internal struggle between pursuing his own ends and protecting the ones dear to him. At one time, driven solely by his will to survive, Guts finds purpose in life upon joining the band of the Falcon, greatly helping in the faction's storied success during the 100-Year War as captain of the band's raiders. He eventually becomes dissatisfied with clinging on to Griffith's dream and departs from the band in pursuit of his own. Following the horrors of the eclipse prompted by Griffith, Guts embarked on a 2-year war against the God Hand and Apostles, becoming increasingly embittered on his one-track quest for retribution. He in time realizes protecting his lover is more important to him, as well as something he cannot do alone, and thus seemingly abandons his quest for revenge while fostering camaraderie with his new companion. Guts was born from the corpse of his lynched mother, where he was left to die in a puddle of blood in afterbirth. A mercenary group led by a man named Gambino eventually happened upon the grisly sight, presuming the infant to be dead. When the baby began wailing, to the surprise of the mercenaries, an acquaintance of Gambino's, Shisu, immediately took the child and came to his aid. Gambino allowed the woman to keep Guts for her own personal consolation, despite the circumstances of Guts' birth being considered ominous by his cohorts. 3 years later, Guts' surrogate mother contracted the plague, dying as he watched on. Pretty fucking gruesome backstory. Under Gambino's tutelage, Guts began honing his swordsmanship at the age of 6 years old, and joined the mercenaries band 3 years later, looking up to his leader as a father figure of sorts. On the night following Guts' first skirmish, a mercenary named Donovan ambushed and raped him in his tent, revealing he bought the boy for a night from Gambino. In the following skirmish, the young mercenary isolated Donovan and eliminated him, refusing to believe the man's claim from the previous night. When Gambino lost his leg in battle, his relationship with Guts immediately deteriorated, from verbal to physical abuse. Guts was subjected to various forms of degradation before Gambino eventually made an attempt on his life. Guts would then be forced to kill Gambino, the closest thing to a father figure he ever had known. Guts' childhood was not a good one. Shoot, it's worse than some of the childhood of notable people from history. The fact that he is still alive and became one of the strongest in his universe is incredible. Guts has been in the heat of battle since he was 9 years old, although now he has over 2 decades of experience. During the 100 Years' War, he gained fame for slaying 100 Tudor soldiers, and even garnered the respect of the legendary swordsman Nosferatu Sod for being the first human in 3 centuries to wound the Apostle. Following the eclipse, which is an event that happens every 216 years where someone is welcomed to the God Hand, his strength and reflexes are improved drastically even still, honed to their peak in this constant struggle against otherworldly creatures. In his Berserker armor, which is a suit of highly durable body armor which gives superhuman strength and human ferocity, Guts is able to ignore the physiological safety mechanisms of his own body and is capable of decisively overwhelming apostles even in their true form. Guts wields the Dragon Slayer, an enormous sword, or 78 inches, or 6'5", that can easily cleave through humans like paper. He also has a cannon arm, the blast being able to tear into even the most sizable of monsters and demons. Inuyasha was born to a demon father and human mother. This would cause demons and humans alike to label him as a half-demon or a half-demon. Inuyasha's mother was killed due to her fraternization with the demon by her guardian Hachimaru, but she would be resurrected by his father the same day with the Seiya. Inuyasha's childhood was very lonely. Due to him being a half-demon, no one would accept him, demons nor humans. Inuyasha was devastated when his mother actually died when he was young. She left him only the robe of the Fire Rat, which is made from the fur of the Fire Rat, the figure. Unable to fight back, Inuyasha was forced into hiding for most of his childhood. This left him frustrated for almost all of his childhood for being unable to defend himself until he was older. As all half-demons, Inuyasha has a day of weakness, the night of the new moon. Inuyasha didn't sleep during these nights to prevent his secret from being known. This was until he heard about the Shikon Jewel. It was said that it can turn half-demons into full breeds. This is where Inuyasha met his first love, Kikyo. Inuyasha spent weeks attempting to steal the jewel from her until they eventually fell in love. Inuyasha stopped chasing the jewel. Until a man named Naraku impersonated Inuyasha and Kikyo to attempt to turn them on each other. Guess what? He was successful. Inuyasha would steal the Shikon jewel from Kikyo, resulting in him being pinned to a tree for 50 years. When it comes to Inuyasha's abilities, he has quite a few. First, his immense demonic power. Despite being a half-demon, he is strong. He's still a strong demon in his own right. He stands as one of the strongest demons in the series. He can easily tear down lesser demons, even those powered by the Shikon jewel. With ease, even those powered by the Shikon jewel with ease. Inuyasha was given a sword by his father, the Tensaiga. With this, Inuyasha can use the backlash wave, which sends stronger enemy attacks back at the user tenfold. The Diamond Spear Blast, which, just like in the name, is a blast that sends shards of diamonds at the enemy. The Maido Zangetsuha, or the Dark Path of the Dawn's Moon Wave, is an immensely strong offensive technique that creates a path that sends anyone who is hit with it directly to the Netherworld itself, killing them without actually hurting them. The Netherworld, hell, whatever you want to call it, this is a pretty powerful technique. Inuyasha can also use the Wind Scar, which is a very powerful wave that is strong enough to eviscerate 10 demons. This is essentially Inuyasha's primary ability. Inuyasha also has an increased sense of smell, being able to smell blood, demons, and etc. from miles away. Inuyasha could also use claws for battle. His primary move is the Iron Reaper Soul Spear, which he shreds demons with his claws. If the Tensaiga is not in Inuyasha's grasp, he is unwillingly transformed into a demon, where he loses all sense of direction and murders anyone in his way until the blade is back in his hands. Now, how the fight starts. I could very well see Naraku, or someone who is against Inuyasha, attempt to pay Guts into killing Inuyasha for them. Though the odds are, if it's Naraku, Guts would kill him without a second thought, due to Guts' hatred towards demons. So I could see Guts and Inuyasha just randomly running into each other, and then a fight would start. Guts sees that he's a demon, and Inuyasha can smell a demon's blood, or just blood in general on Guts. Now, so that's how the fight starts. Now, Guts definitely has the strength advantage here, so Inuyasha is going to be on the defensive, which is usually the case. Inuyasha's red Tensaiga would be useless, as Guts doesn't use any sort of barrier. The backlash wave doesn't work either, since it doesn't work on melee attacks and projectiles. Inuyasha only has his primary ability, the Wind Scar, the Diamond Spear Blast, and the Maido Zangetsuha to use against Guts. If Guts can be close enough to Inuyasha, which he will no matter what, I could see the Tensaiga shattering from the force of the Dragon Slayer, as it has been able to break even stronger things than Berserker. This will cause Inuyasha to go into his demon form and take the advantage in this fight until Guts decides to use his Berserker armor. This fight is done after this. Guts is essentially unbeatable in this form, as it literally tears his body parts limb from limb, kind of rearranges his body in a way, which could end up killing Guts if he's not careful. So, for the winner of this fight, I'm essentially just going to give it to Guts. I don't see Inuyasha being able to beat Guts in his Berserker form, even if Inuyasha's in his demon form or not. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have a suggestion, tell me down in the comments below. The next video will be Monkey D. Luffy versus Naruto Uzumaki. This is the Chaotic Weeb saying, peace.